The IRS changes IRA RMD rules again. So this is a shorter video, but stay tuned because I've got a main takeaway for two types of people. It's either the first one is someone who may be inheriting money from your parents or relatives. And then the second type of person is if you plan to pass on money to your kids or to your relatives after you pass away. Now, if you don't care too much about how much tax you pay or how much tax your family might pay, then this video isn't going to be that helpful, but I'll get into it. First, quick recap on RMDs. RMD is just required minimum distribution, and it's the amount that the government makes us take out of certain accounts when we get to our 70s. The types of accounts are IRAs or 401ks, 403bs, and then other tax deferred accounts. Now, over the past few years, legislation has changed the retirement plan rules. For example, in 2019, the Secure Act changed the IRA stretch rule. So if you or your kids inherit an IRA, then they have to start taking out RMDs. But before 2019, they could actually stretch out over their lifetime when and how much they took out of the IRAs. Now, they had to take out the minimum amount, but there was some flexibility. And this was nice because it allowed people to stretch out the tax as well and not pay too much in tax. But the Secure Act changed that and said no more stretch rule. Instead, many non-spouse beneficiaries who inherit IRAs on or after January 1 of 2020 must get or be done with the account or take all the money out within 10 years of the account owner's death. So this speeds up the amount that you have to take out and speeds up the tax that you have to pay on these accounts. Another change that happened was in the Secure Act 2.0 that was put into place last year. It increased RMD age to age 73 in 2023, and that RMD age will eventually get to age 75. Now, some of the changes over the last 3 or 4 years had made it confusing to people who inherited IRAs. So one nice thing that they did was in 2020 and 21, they waived the penalty if you didn't take out the right amount from these inherited accounts. And that penalty used to be 50% of the RMD amount, which was pretty hefty bill, right? A penalty. But in the Secure Act 2.0, that penalty was dropped to 25%, or it can be as low as 10%. But now, speed up to current day. Here's some of the recent changes. What they did was they ended up just delaying the final ruling related to RMDs all the way till 2024. So what does this mean to you? Now, some beneficiaries of inherited IRAs have a little bit more time to figure out how to work in their income plan or withdrawal strategy, when to use these funds or not use these funds. Because the IRS waived penalties for RMDs missed in 2023 from IRAs that were inherited in 2022. In the past, you usually had to start RMDs the year following the date of passing of that owner, the original owner. But here's the big takeaway from this. First, for people who may inherit something in the future, and then for people who may leave something to your kids. So if you might inherit an IRA, it could play a big role in your tax-efficient withdrawal strategy. If it's a traditional IRA, all of those distributions are taxable. And if you're designing an income plan that's allowing you to get more money into your Roth, which a lot of people do, there's a sweet spot after retirement where you might be able to get money into a Roth IRA at low tax rates. That inherited IRA, though, that you might inherit could kind of throw a wrench in the plan. It's something to account for if you're planning your retirement on your own, or at least bring it up to your advisor if you're getting help. And by the way, I'm recording a pretty good video, I would think, on tax-efficient withdrawal strategy that's coming out soon. So if you're not excited about that, then you're not as big of a nerd as me. But if you are excited just a little bit, then be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss the next one. And hit the bell icon too so that you actually see it when it comes out. But next is if you plan to pass on something to kids after you pass away. So as you're creating your income plan, the goal number one is reducing the amount of tax you have to pay in your lifetime. But not everyone thinks about how much tax your kids might pay, kind of like the family tax payment. It's common to see people inherit money when they're in their late 50s or early 60s and they're actually still working. So their tax rate's already up there. And then they might have to pay tax at a higher tax bracket if they inherit this money. That's why we evaluate really the pros and cons of Roth conversions. We include this lifetime value or family lifetime value in the calculation. So the value of when you're alive, what's the benefit? And then also what's the benefit for kids or the detriment to the kids whether you're doing these Roth conversions. Maybe it's not that important to you, but if it is, bring it up with your wealth management team. And if you don't have one, reach out to me in the description below. And we've got a team that's very smart people helping families improve their financial life, and we've been doing it for many years. So I hope that was helpful. If it was, click the like button and then check out these videos to make your retirement a little bit better.